All right, well, we've got here a colorful group here. You can't see it. I tell you, it's great. But we want to introduce the Heath brothers. I say introduce them. You guys have been hearing them already on the station. But we want you to get to know the artists, that they're not just some voice out there singing, but these are people that love the Lord, that love what they're doing.
Amen.
So I want to ask you guys just a little bit how you got into the industry.
Sure.
Especially, for the audience, I'm sure you know this, but they're rather young.
Yeah.
I say rather young because I can say that being in my late 50s.
We're all rather
Yes,
young.
Rather
That's
young. But we
That's
love
good.
that. We
Yeah.
love that. So tell us how you got in the industry and a little about.
Yeah, so first of all, hi everybody.
Yes.
This is Nicholas talking.
I'm Clayton.
And I'm Christian.
We're twins.
Yeah, Christian and Clayton are twins. I'm Nicholas, and I'm the
Yes.
older brother.
They look alike. They don't necessarily sound alike.
Yeah. And they definitely don't act alike. But we are called the Three Heath Brothers, and we've been around. We've been traveling technically for about 5 years, I think.
Right.
But as far as only 5 years of actual touring, but actual singing, we've been singing all of our lives. When we were little, our mom taught us how to sing. We were preachers' kids, and then God started opening some doors as we were teenagers. God actually opened the door. We were actually singing at Dollywood, which is a theme park in Pigeon Forge, and we were singing there, and a man heard us who actually had an inroad into some public schools. And so he invited us to come with him and do some chapel services in public schools, which was unheard of to us. We've never heard anybody do anything like that. And so you were just telling us kind of about what TIL Radio Network is all about and how they're about reaching the next generation. And actually this past week we got finished. Over the past few years, we have had the opportunity to sing in over 100 public schools to over 40,000 public school students. And we just finished a week. We sang to about 2,000 kids, I think. And not only that, we've been working with a company called Keys for Kids, and they have devotionals, and so they'll give us devotionals with our cover on and all of that stuff.
Fantastic.
And so
we just started broadcasting Keys for Kids.
Really?
No way!
No!
That is awesome. So we love those
because
people.
I'm familiar with Keys for Kids.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you some really history. It used to be the Children's Bible Hour
Yes.
years ago. My older brother and I were on one of the live broadcasts in 1973 there in Michigan. So I have a great affinity for their ministry, what they've done.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's awesome.
So we're actually
them.
working with them on devotionals and different things, and we have our cover on them, and then we give them out. We handed out over 900 of them last week, and so we're doing that, and we do all sorts of things. Obviously, we tour and sing to different churches and events, but a big thing that we're working on now. I don't know if you want to get into this, but
go ahead.
we're actually working on. We just finished a brand new Christmas album,
Yes.
and
So
it's
exciting.
It's releasing November the 17th, and actually we're doing a big Christmas tour. So the album is called Not So Silent Night
With the City of Prague Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yes, and David T. Clydesdale actually arranged and orchestrated the whole thing. And
That's right.
he and I flew over to Prague in Europe and did all that.
Nicholas actually got to conduct one of the songs.
It was crazy. It was super cool.
Cloud nine.
So we're doing that, and then we're calling the Christmas tour the Not So Silent Night tour. And Keys for Kids is actually helping sponsor that Christmas tour.
Awesome.
And so we're going to be doing a big one up in Michigan, where their headquarters is just a few minutes away from there at a big church there. And so, so we're just, we are trying to do exactly what you guys are trying to do, which is reach the next generation and impact them for Christ. And we wear bright clothes, we jump around on stage, we do all sorts of crazy stuff, but that is to attract the kids' attention and point them to Jesus.
Right, that's right.
And that's one of the things. We actually do music videos, and we did a music video called Into the Deep. It was an underwater music video, jumped off a 50-foot cliff into the ocean. It was crazy, okay? We almost died.
Right.
But that video ended up getting over 13 awards this year from different film festivals, actually all across the world.
Wow, awesome.
And so one of them was actually the Kendrick Brothers. They have a film festival called the Christian Worldview Film Festival, and it won Best Music Video there. So we are just all about reaching the next generation in all the world. The Bible literally says, go ye into all the world. And so that's what we're trying to do with our music, and we want the message of Christ to be very evident in our music, and we don't apologize for being Christians.
Right.
And so that's what we're really passionate about.
Well, let me come back to you dealing with public schools. So how does that work as far as getting connections with public schools? And getting
Yeah,
into-
so we can't go. A lot of people come up to us and they're like, "Oh, I wish you could get into my school," and it doesn't. We can't be the people
Correct.
who are organized that. We have our show and we have different things that we'll do, and we'll set up sound and lights and everything, but we have to have somebody who has an inroad into those schools. And so I'm not going to name the state just because there are organizations that would try to put a stop to it, but we've done a lot of public schools in a specific state, and then it's hopefully going to start opening up into more states.
We've had like a lot of times we'll perform at like a middle school or something, and then another school we'll go out to eat for lunch break, and then go to the next school. While we're doing lunch, this lady came up to us, and she's like, "Hey, can you come to my school?" And she's working at a school, and so a lot of it is like almost peer pressure from other schools. Seeing
And they
that
see it. The kids post on social
Yeah.
media. "Oh, look who came to my school today," and all that.
So
And
others-
so,
We did a high school, and the place. At the end of the show, we were screaming. They were screaming. We were throwing T-shirts. We had a blast. We want the kids to know you can have fun while you're a
Yes,
Christian,
absolutely.
because it's the joyous thing you'll ever do in your life. And so when we communicate to those kids, obviously a lot of it is planting seed, but we get to give them a card. And on the front is like our social media, but on the back is the entire like plan of salvation, ABC.
Yeah.
And they take that home with them, and the kids will go, whether it's an elementary school or high schooler, they'll take it to their parents, and their parents will get excited about it because their kids, they come home like screaming, like, "Look who came to my
they're
school."
looking for positive influences for
Right.
their kids. Even if the parents aren't even Christian, they're looking for somebody wholesome that their kids can look up to, because there's so much junk in this world, you know.
Yes.
And so that's what we do. And if the administrators or the principals are super nice, they let us pass out those devotionals that we were talking about.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and I do. So, if you're listening and you're saying, "Oh, can we get into our school?" Well, you might be able to, but
Right.
you're going to have somebody
Yeah.
in the school.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Yeah.
super good friends with your
Well,
superintendent or
superintendents,
something like that, you know,
we are working on making a
Uh,
website with more information about the details
and
of
ways
how to
to
do
donate, because one of the things in the beginning, we were just paying for this kind of out of pocket, and what's happened now is a lot of donors across the country have come together, and
that. They
we're
don't
actually-
pay us. The public schools don't.
Right,
Right.
right.
I
It's
hope
not
that-
like they're gonna write us a check. That would be
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
where that line gets a little iffy there. So they've got to be able to do that. So
So-
yes, we would definitely encourage our listeners, and we'll definitely link your site to ours. That if
thank
they
you.
want to
We
give to
appreciate
this
that.
and be a part of that, we definitely would encourage that, because I know being able to get into the schools and get to where these kids are it's going to be a huge way in which we're going to reach them here in the near future. There's such turmoil right now in the school systems, and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of things that are going on, and parents are saying, "Hey, we need answers for our kids." We thought we were sending them to learn how to read, write, and do arithmetic, and they're getting so much other stuff that isn't helpful. So they're looking for that, and so that was one of the things when I knew you guys were doing that excited me, because I'm sitting there going, we need more of this. So I'll promise you, if you plan on keep going out, we will do what we can to help you be able to do that.
Thank you so much, and thank you for what you guys are doing.
Yes.
Seriously.
So obviously got your Christmas album.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
It's
tell us
not-
a few of the songs that are on that.
Oh
my goodness.
So the title cut, which is Not So Silent Night, is actually the first song that the twins and I actually wrote together.
Awesome.
So
three of
all
us.
three of us, and so yeah, it's super upbeat, super fun, and
We're
then
excited.
we have some classics on
We
there.
do. We do. Let's just name a few.
I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Mary Did You Know is of course
Yeah,
has to
you
be
have
on
to
there.
have that.
have to have
And
that.
cool story there. We have in our hometown at our home church, we're all preachers' kids, and our dad started about 10 years ago a live nativity. And it's a drive-through live nativity, and it's actually become the largest drive-through live nativity in the Carolinas. And so last year they had almost 13,000 people come through.
Wow.
So we recorded Mary Did You Know specifically because at the end of that kind of show, the drive-through live nativity, we're gonna have a big thing with full choir, all of that, and so we're gonna sing Mary Did You Know at the end, and at the very end Jesus comes out of the tomb, and that's the way we kind of share the Christmas story with our hometown, and then tell them about Jesus and how he died and rose on the third day. And so we have that one. We have actually a really cool New Year song that we're really excited about. It's called This Year. And
But there's a lot of classics. Jingle Bells. We do David T. Clydesdale and Nicholas. They did an arrangement of Jingle Bells and Jingle All the Way
and Sleigh Ride
Oh my
and
goodness.
all of that. And we brought in, the
had
City
a lot
of
of
Prague
fun.
Philharmonic
We had a lot of
Orchestra was very cool because they're obviously over there in Europe, and it was a very big sound, and the room was huge. So, anyways, we're gonna be posting some videos and pictures later on. But it's
super
just
excited.
been it's super cool. So we're super excited
Good.
about
Well,
it.
we're excited about it too because one of the hardest things we've found in creating the network and putting everything together is like Christmas music. We need more Christmas music. There's no Christmas music. Oh yeah, eventually we'll do it. And you guys have got it.
That's awesome.
So you guys go to the top of the list. You get
Thank you.
It works.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for what you're doing and the heart that you have for your generation.
Thank you.
And that, and again, I know growing up in a pastor's home and growing up in ministry, you sometimes may not see the prettiest things that are there. That God's allowed you to be able to see there is hope for people.
Right.
And thank you for that message. So,
Brother.
before we kind of wrap up here, is there anything you kind of want to share that you feel like with this next generation that give them some hope, some direction, maybe to give us some things there?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like Nick was saying, we started singing when we were really little. Our mom actually taught us how to sing, and she taught us. So she set us down on bar stools, and she hum a note to Clayton, hum a note to Nichols, and hum a note to me. And we never really set out to be a group. It was just something basically to corral our energy. And
Good mom.
and yes, but she didn't just want to teach us like regular songs. She taught us hymns of the faith.
Good.
To where if we were older and going through trials in our life, how we would always remember those songs like "It Is Well with My Soul" and just really good stuff. And so we never set out to be a group, but the truth is God has opened so many doors, and especially. The biggest was the public school ministry.
And what I would say to young people, it's interesting that you should mention preachers' kids and growing up and seeing the ins and outs because, not everyone in the church is totally kind to everybody. There's all kinds of horror stories, but what you have to realize is that Jesus isn't that way. And that's what's kept me strong in my faith is whenever I see people doing different things that I don't agree with or they're treating people certain ways, I got to remember that's not Jesus. And if you put your faith and your trust in Jesus Christ as a young person, he will never leave you and he'll never forsake you.
That's right.
And I'd encourage you to read the Bible, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of different people who are going to take bits and pieces of the Bible and try to turn it into something that's going to sound really crazy, but if you take the time to read your Bible and you really have a good prayer life and a good relationship with God, just talk to God like he's one of your friends or something like that and listen to him, that can really have a huge impact on you. Because if you see, I used to see God just as this, person up in the sky and, I pray and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to church. But whenever you look at God as a true relationship and you're talking to him every day about every situation, that will change your life and it'll change your spiritual walk as well. So that's something that I would say for the next generation.
Appreciate that. Well, thank you guys.
And listen to TIL Radio Network.
That's right.
That's what you have to do. Okay, I'm just saying.
Obviously what he said was important, but if you don't put the other one, it's hard. You have to listen to the
Good.
TIL.
And to be able to have that influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys again for coming in and being a part of this.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we can create a relationship here that we can do some stuff down the road as well.
Yeah,
We would love that.
Absolutely.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, brother.
Appreciate it.